Hi guys, welcome to Learn Electronics Repair. I have a key fob here from a car. The owner of this brought it in. I'm not sure exactly what he was doing with it, but somehow he has damaged the PCB. I think you can see quite clearly. We have damage in this area. So he asked me if I could repair the tracks and then hopefully this will work again. I think the best thing to do is get us under the microscope and we can have a closer look to see what the damage looks like and then figure out how we're going to fix it. Here is the key fob then. So we can see that at least two tracks are definitely broken, and there's a little bit of damage also on this one. I think that's probably okay. Looks like a bit of corrosion here, but I think they're all okay as well. We can check the continuity across them, that's the best bet. And these two are definitely broken, so we need to find a way to fix those. Probably just with some fine wire, then put a little bit of glue over to hold the wires down. I think that should do the job. So let's just check first the tracks that are a bit corroded just to make sure they're okay. I have the meter on continuity mode. Let's see. So quite obviously we have one track completely broken here, this one and this one also. This one I'm certain is okay, to be honest, but we can just make sure if I can keep this thing still while I'm trying to work on it. Okay, so we have we have good continuity there. This I'm just going to come across the scratch bit. Yeah, that's good. That's also good. Yeah, there's nothing really there. There's nothing. I don't think this one's damaged. That seems good as well. So the thing is to fix these. This one looks like it's actually broken in two places. I have continuity to there. So okay, so this one, although it looks damaged here, that's fine. Okay, we have good continuity to there. It's just this part that's broke. So I think with this one we'll just clean it up a little bit, put a bit of flux on, and we'll just put a fine bit of wire there. And the same with this one. We have continuity right to the end of it. Yeah, and we have continuity from that end, so the same thing. I'll do this one first because it's going to be easier to move outwards effectively, so we can solder this one without effectively accidentally desoldering that one. The main problem with this is going to keep the thing level while I'm trying to work on it. Let's see if we can do it under the microscope, otherwise I'll have to use something to hold it, but then I can't get it under the microscope. Possibly if I put something a bit heavy on one end of it, that will help to keep it still. Actually, probably blue tack would do very well. Just hold this down with blue tack, but I don't have any, but I have some of this sticky, foamy, double-sided tape, and this is easy to remove. So I'm going to put a bit of this under it just to hold it down while I'm working on it. That's done the job pretty well. Just a couple pieces of the sticky tape there. You can see just holding it to the desk. So we can zoom in and this will stay still enough for me to work on, or at least that's the theory. Now let's see if we can get some solder and flux onto this. I'm going to use 0.2mm leaded solder. I'm going to use my BC3 tip, the chunky one I always use. I find that this is more a matter of getting heat into it. I've just noticed there was a bit of solder stuck to the flux. It's now down on the sticky pad, so that's out of the way. Let's see if we can tin this. Okay, let's have a look. So I'm coming with that edge of it. And I have solder on there, okay? You can see I've tinned it. I'm going to try putting the soldering iron more flat onto the board with a bit of solder under it. If I make a mess, I can always use braid to clean it back off again. If I actually putting solder on and then hitting it with braid, it's probably the best bet actually. Oh, a bit of a mess on the end of the iron there. Okay, that looks a lot cleaner. Right, let's see what we can do. So we'll get the thing flat. Okay. And the same there. And it looks like I've got that tin pretty well actually. Another thing we can do, as I just mentioned, we can take a little bit of braid. Just the end of the braid. Get a bit of solder on it. Just coming from an angle with it there. Yeah, you see I've run some solder into the braid, which of course is moving. That looks good. And then we can just literally push this against it as well. This would also help to put solder on, okay? Yeah, that was quite nicely tinned. I'll clean that up with a bit of ice so then we can have a close look. Okay, I've added just a little touch more solder to it now, you can see, so we have enough there to stick our wire into. Here, 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 here. I'm going to use a strand from some multi-strand wire. I need something very fine to do with this. I mean, I could use something like enamelled wire, but it would be difficult to scrape the ends and leave the enamel. I think putting a bit of glue on afterwards is the best because it'll keep the wires apart from each other so they won't short. These two are now looking very close to each other, so that shouldn't be too difficult. Let's have a go. This is multi-strand wire. I've just stripped the end of it a bit and you can see that that will actually fit quite nicely for the width of the track. I think that'll be fine. So I'll put a little bit of solder on the wire. I'll come in with my left hand here and just a soldering iron. I'll put a bit of flux again, obviously. And if I have enough solder on the wire, I don't need a third hand to bring any more solder in. So first let's just tin the wire. Sorry, it's probably a bit out of focus for you guys. I can see it pretty well. So you see I've nicely tinned the wire. A bit of flux. Not too much so I can't see. If it's very thick you can't actually see where you are, but I think that should be okay. Because this is very fine wire, it shouldn't transmit too much heat through it, so I should be able to hold it fairly near the end without burning my finger. See if we can get it to attach. So it looks like I have that end, yeah, it's definitely attached. Now we need to solder the other end without unsoldering the first one. Okay, I need to get a bit more flat. It was obviously not flat on the board that time. Let's go again. Try and solder it a little bit further away, okay. Try this. I'll put just a tiny touch of solder on the iron. A small amount. Okay. Moving a little bit, let's see if we just get it. Yeah. So the problem is that I'm actually unsoldering the other end. Try once more. That's on. What I may end up doing is scraping away at the track a little bit further up and soldering a bit further up actually. But I think I have it this time. Okay. I think I have it. We can test if it's soldered by going to the other end of the track and seeing if we have continuity. So for now I'll just chop this off somewhere. Fine. So one end is here, and then the other end of this track goes to there. And we have continuity, we have good continuity. I could have actually just run a wire all the way across there, a bit of insulated wire, but there isn't much space inside this thing, so I'd rather just try and keep it short if I can. Let's just cut this off. I need some new cutters, these are no good, look, they're bent. I honestly thought I had a spare set of these. I've managed to bend these straight again, but I will definitely order some more. So let's see if we can just remove this with my damaged cutters. Okay, and we'll check if we have the continuity again, just to be sure we still have it. So from here to here, yes, so that's still good. Now we just need to replace or repair the other one without disturbing that one. I mean, it may be better to actually stick that one down with a bit of glue before we try to do the other one, but let's throw caution to the wind. In the worst case, we just have to do that one again. Well, that looks good. And this one, I'm actually going to stick it on a bit further up here. So we'll just scrape away a little bit at the track. We get some solder on it. If we can, somewhere here. Okay. There. This will make it easier. We have some solder on the track, so here. And of course I unsoldered the whole thing. Actually, I thought that wouldn't have happened with it being much longer, but there we go. Again. That's attached. We'll try and just bend this a little bit. Okay. It may actually help if I hold this down here. That's awkward to do from this angle. Let's try. Well, this one's proving a little bit more tricky than the other one was. Patience, guys, just a bit of patience, we'll get it. soldered, definitely. We definitely have something to solder to, we can see it. I actually have a point there I can solder and a point there I can solder. Let's try. Okay, this time I think I got it. Having such a large mass on the iron means it heats very quickly. Now I don't quite have it. I'll try holding this down with this tool as I mentioned before and coming in with from the opposite direction with the iron, okay? See if this will work. That's allowing me to get a lot more heat into there, and now I think I have it. Yes, you can see that's soldered there, soldered there. So the problem I was having was basically I couldn't get enough heat in without unsoldering the other end, or I was too afraid of unsoldering the other end. Let's see if we have a good continuity. So we can see this one goes over to that pad, it goes to here. That's the end of this. And I'll just, you probably can't see where I am, you probably can't now. Well, you could if it wasn't underneath the multimeter, yeah? Soon sort that out. Okay. That's good. So we'll cut this one off and again we'll just test again. Damaged tools are not helping here. I could have sworn I had a new pair of those. Never mind. We can try this technique. Okay. Right, let's clean that up and then make one final check. Okay, we can have a loop just to make sure they are physically soldered, then we'll check the continuity one last time. And then we'll put a bit of glue on. So this is obviously soldered here, and that's definitely soldered there. It's moved. So I'm just checking physically if it's attached. Yes, 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 it's attached further back there. So continuity should be good. Okay, so this is just 2-part epoxy resin. This will set quite hard, but you can get it off if you need to. So we'll take a little bit of this and we'll just literally just put it on there. That should be enough. We don't need any more. That is just flowing across the wires. I may just be able to persuade it come this way a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Once that sets, that should be absolutely fine. Okay guys, so that's one way to do that. There are other methods, for example this type of thing, these little tracks which you can actually use like a repair kit for boards, okay? But personally the way I did it actually works, so you know, what more do you need to do? Yeah, but to say there are other methods. I'm sure some of you guys will have further methods in the comments below. And that's fine, guys, because we all have our ways of doing this. I wouldn't say there's a right way or a wrong way. There's possibly an easier way, and let's hear them, because I'm learning as much as anybody else is. But for those of you who are faced with that sort of repair, you can see it's not so difficult to do. It's a little bit fiddly. Be patient. You may have to go several times. You saw the technique I used in the end to get the other end to solder without transferring heat down into here. So a few tricks and tips there. I really hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward to seeing you all soon on another All in Electronics repair video. Get to the comments now, guys. Ciao.